mean, I couldn't sleep last night for all the noise.
You'd sleep all right if you had a conscience.
Ah, this is the one that's been doing all the whipping and wailing. Well, either Wonky Warner's back or she's been given crying lessons on the outside.
Cut it out, Smith. Okay, you. Out. Well, come on. You're going to have to get used to jumping to it when you're told. You're going to be with us for some time, I'd say.
What do you mean? I'm due in court this morning.
Don't worry, you'll get there. Your police escort is waiting in reception.
Good. Then that'll be the last you'll see of me.
Don't count on it. From what I heard, they busted you with the goods. Money changing hands? You're as good as gone.
My sister will raise bail for me. She'll make sure I get off the charges.
She must be a very wealthy lady, your sister. She'd need state financing to get you off. Sign here.
Hello, Wentworth.
Thanks.
Yes.
See you at lunch.
I'll pass on the message. That was Mr. Reed.
Who?
Mr. Reed. He won't be until later this morning. He sounded funny.
What do you mean, funny?
Worried.
Probably running around after some parolee, giving them the kid glove treatment, and it backfired on him. Just like this project he's getting going for the women here will backfire on him. Do-gooder academics. And when it comes to the crunch, we are the patsies who have to straighten out their foul-ups for the little good old-fashioned discipline, which is all that's needed in the first place.
I hope you appreciate, Mr. Reed, that it is not common practice to have committal proceedings heard in chambers.
Yes, I know, sir, and I'm most grateful.
Sit down, gentlemen.
Sir, it's obvious that Mr. Reed's son is heavily implicated in this case, and I believe he should go to trial on the charges as they stand.
I'm aware that the prosecutor has evidence to support that, sir. However, I'm sure we're all agreed that the evidence is to a very large extent, if not wholly, circumstantial. I accept that my son was found on premises where it's alleged an illegal transaction in drugs was taking place. However, there are certain circumstances which took place prior to my son's arrest and which I believe throw an entirely different light on this matter.
Carry on, Mr. Reed.
Some time ago, my wife passed away in Adelaide. Following her death, I decided to move interstate to get over my loss. I now realize that that was perhaps not the best thing to do for my son. He had his friends in Adelaide. A move to a new city meant that he had to seek out and establish new friendships. This placed added stress on our relationship, and a couple of days ago, after a very heated argument at home, my son walked out.
So, how'd you manage to convince him?
With a bit of fast, bloody talking. Tell you what, I'd hate to meet that magistrate across a poker table. Showed no reaction whatsoever. So then I went into some detail about my work with young offenders, the drug scene, all of that. And the fact that as my son, you'd have some idea of what happens to young people who get involved in drugs. The constant fear of being found out, the battle for supplies, the busts, rejection by society, withdrawals, all of that. Anyway, the magistrate finally accepted my assurance that there was no way you'd be involved in drugs, either as a pusher or a user.
Thanks, Dad.
Of course, I also had to give an assurance that you'd stay out of trouble and not mix with undesirables. And that means you'll be coming home.
Fair enough.
Well, it beats being in the slammer, which is where your friends are heading right now. Oh, by the way, you'll be called as a witness when their case comes up.
Do I have to go?
I'm afraid so. And I'm afraid I have to go, otherwise we'll both be heading north looking for a job.
Well, couldn't you take the rest of the day off? I mean, it's nearly lunchtime. We could have a meal or something.
Sorry, mate. There's work to be done. Pay for the coffee, buy yourself some lunch. I'll see you at home tonight.
Yeah, sure.
Well, well. What did I say? Back in time for lunch. That's the bell. Have you eaten?
I'm not hungry.
Well, you can take this opportunity to get acquainted with the other inmates. Come on.
Get to the back of the bloody queue. There's people been here since the bell.
Quieten down, the lot of you. This is Sharon Gilmore. She's a newcomer to Wentworth. She hasn't eaten since yesterday, so I'm sure you won't mind if she jumps the queue.
Oh, good, I'm not sure we'll be doing her any favours. I mean, who could eat that swill on an empty stomach?
Get yourself a plate.
Yeah, love, I'll stick with you so I can catch you when you keel over. What are you in for, Sharon?
I'm only on remand, 10 days.
Yeah, what did they charge you with?
I got busted for drugs.
Pushing or using?
Using? Do I look that stupid?
No, love, you don't. You look quite proud, actually. And it's bright bastards like you that get stupid, innocent little bastards.
Get out of my way! Don't let her go! Get back, Smith! Break it up! Now get back to your places, all of you!
Just you wait, you bitch! You're gonna wish you'd never been born!
Welcome to Wentworth.
This should take the sting out. Oh, good. It's true. This is going to take the sting out of you.
Sorry. Look, is she going to live or die or what?
She'll live.
I'll have to report this to Mrs. Davidson. Don't let Smith out of your sight. I'll send someone to collect her.
Is this going to need plastic surgery or what?
I shouldn't think so. It'll be red for a few days, but it'll fade.
Oh, just a thought. I might have ended up looking like Sophie Loren. Oh, well. Oh. Yeah, what's that?
Oh, Mrs. Williams. How are you feeling now, Mrs. Williams?
A little unsteady, actually.
Oh, here, love, you all right? Lean on me. You're new here, aren't you? What are you in for? Yeah, well, let me guess.
I was in the action room here.
Shoplifting, I'd
Mrs.
say.
Williams is ready
Yeah,
to
I
be
reckon
taken
that's
to
it.
solitary.
Shoplifting.
Okay, when ready, fine.
Solitary? Good, what'd you do? Bump off your old man?
Please, couldn't I wait in the other room?
Yes, of course.
Well, don't look at me. I didn't do nothing.
Did you see Smith actually strike this young woman?
Well, no, not exactly. I was standing...
But she did raise a hand to me. She would have hit me if I hadn't stopped.
Gilmore, I am addressing my questions to Miss Bennett for the moment. You'll get your chance later. Well?
No, Smith didn't strike her, but as she said...
Thank you, Miss Bennett. That will be all. Let me have your written report as soon as possible.
Mrs. Davidson, I'm sure Smith started the whole thing by being deliberately aggressive and provocative. She ought to spend a few days in solitary.
Thank you for your advice, Miss Bennett. Now, I would like that report, if you don't mind. As for you, young lady, I am appalled at your arrogance and your general demeanour. You have been in Wentworth for less than 24 hours, and already your behaviour has brought you to my notice.
But she threatened me. Can't I even defend myself?
Your best defence is to stay away from Smith.
How?
Well, since you're only in here on remand, you won't have to work with the other women.
Suits me.
I'm sure it does. I shall also arrange for you to have your meals separately.
Why don't you just lock me up in my cell on bread and water?
That could be arranged.
Will I be allowed visitors from the outside?
Anyone in particular?
Yes, my sister, Judy Bryant.
Write it down there. Does she have a telephone number?
Yes.
Well, write that down as well. Then you can go to your cell. When Sister's finished with Smith, bring her in here.
This typewriter's an antique. Now, if B. Smith decided to take up typing again, they'll probably give her an IBM.